Tonight at 6, new information about a deadly crash this morning that killed a Madison teen on the way to school.
Plus, why a group of lawmakers is withholding funds from the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction. And we'll tell you how the agency is responding.
Future Track behind me here is looking pretty quiet for now, but we have a morning mix on the way. Who gets snow tonight? I'll let you know.
And we welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke.
And I'm Sarah Carlson. We have breaking news tonight about the deadly pedestrian crash that happened earlier today. The Madison School District is confirming the identity of the student killed on their way to school.
Our Nash Dara live at the scene of the crash with this new information. Nash?
Eric and Sarah, it is tragic news as it has been confirmed that 17-year-old Alexander Sasha Rosen, a West High School student, was killed after being struck by a vehicle on their way to school earlier this morning. 911 responded to South Park Street near Burr Oak Lane 5 minutes after the call at around 7:43 a.m. When on the scene, police began to secure the area, treat the victim, and talk to witnesses. I spoke with the Madison Police Department's Public Information Officer, Stephanie Fryer, who said the female driver of the vehicle remained at the scene after the incident.
Really want to stress that, this teen did nothing wrong. They were just on their way to school when this unfortunate incident happened, and was not jaywalking, didn't appear to be, goofing around when they were entering the road, just, was crossing as they should have been doing and was hit by a vehicle.
In a letter sent to families of West High School, it said there are no words to describe the collective grief that we feel in this moment, said West High School's principal, who asked to keep the victim's family in your thoughts during this difficult situation. He added, quote, "Our primary focus is supporting our regents, both staff and students. We are here to listen, offer compassion, and help all who need it find solace and strength in our community." For now on Madison's South Side, Nash Dara, News 3 Now.
A very sad story tonight, Nash. Thank you. And News 3 Now will continue to provide updates on this story on air and online. You can receive the news directly to your phone with our free Channel 3000 mobile app.
Let's turn now to your first warned forecast. Alex Harrington is here with what to expect in the next few hours and a little snow.
Yeah, a little snow is on the way. Quiet right now. Future Track quiet at 8 o'clock. We put it into motion here, and by the time we get to midnight, a couple snow showers trying to make it into the scene up towards Camp Douglas, over towards Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties, just north of the Dells. And then as quick as it moves in between 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, Dells, Madison, maybe as far west as Dodgeville, Beaver Dam, Juneau, Watertown, Jefferson, Janesville, Elkhorn, all stand the chance of seeing this light snow mixed in with a little bit of freezing drizzle that could cause some slick spots on area roadways, especially any roadways that are untreated. But it quickly moves out. By the time we get to 7 o'clock in the morning, that would be right during the peak of the rush hour. Things are quieting down, and that snow is pushed off to the south and to the east. And then we may even break into some partly sunny conditions throughout the middle and afternoon hours of Friday. And you'd think, well, that sun's been out before this week, and it feels pretty good. Well, our temperatures are going to be tumbling during the afternoon on Friday. Who gets the snow? Very clear here. Future Track, Camp Douglas, down to the Dells, to Madison, to Janesville. Southwest Wisconsin, you might not get any snow at all, but you could get some patchy freezing drizzle. All of us see the chance for a little bit of patchy, dense fog overnight tonight. Temperatures mild overnight tonight, warm for this time of year in Southwest Wisconsin in the 30s, upper 20s to around 30 in Madison. That's that critical temperature where you see the precipitation in those mixed forms and that little bit of icing for Madison areas off towards the north and east especially. 34 for an early high temperature, and then temperatures fall on Friday. Will be colder on Sunday, but mild weather, warm weather returns. How warm will the mercury go and how soon will it get here? I'll let you know when I return.
All right, Alex, thank you. 3 people are hurt after a car crashed into a Fitchburg car dealership earlier today. It was about 11:45. Police responded to the West Beltline Highway for the crash at the Zimbrick used dealership there. 3 people in the building were hurt. 2 of them seriously. All were taken to the hospital. Zimbrick tells us members of its team and customers were, quote, directly involved in this incident. The driver stayed on scene and is cooperating with police. Right now, there's no indication that it was done intentionally.
Right now, a Madison teacher is facing child sex crime charges. Madison police arrested 58-year-old David Fawcett for one pending charge of possessing child sex abuse materials and another for sexually exploiting a child. The Madison School District's website lists Fawcett as a teacher at Nuestro Mundo. The district tells us Fawcett has been placed on administrative leave The pending charges stem from information that the police received from Texas law enforcement that Fawcett was communicating with a minor there. Multiple units responded to Spate Street yesterday morning to deliver a search warrant. Officers then arrested Fawcett, who has been booked in the Dane County Jail. He has not been formally charged yet.
Right now, the Department of Public Instruction has $1 million in limbo.
And if department doesn't receive the money soon, it might lead to layoffs. Tanisha Shaw has more. And Tanisha, lawmakers decided to delay money because of an article.
Yep, that's right. The Joint Finance Committee decided to hold off on approving $1 million for the current fiscal year. Chairmen say they want to look into allegations about DPI spending. Dairyland Sentinel put an article out saying DPI spent nearly $400,000 at a conference. The conference took place at Wisconsin Dells in 2024. The amount of money spent by DPI is raising concerns. DPI says without the money, they may have to lay off staff, and this could impact how they thoroughly do their jobs. Lawmakers say they want to look into the claims before making a final decision.
Taxpayer use of funds at a resort for a conference, and it's since it's so new, we just want the opportunity to at least review what's going on there with this questionable use of funds, at least according to that report that's very new. And so we just want to hit pause on that.
The Department of Public Instruction responded to me with saying that full context is needed, saying in part, quote, the Ford exam has been taken out of context. This was a 4-day workshop that brought together nearly 100 Wisconsin educators and national assessment experts to review the statewide assessment. And it goes on to say, quote, the figure cited in a recent politically motivated blog post is misleading. It reflects the total cost amount of administrating the workshop, including DRC staff salaries, securing laptops, meeting spaces, hotel and travel costs, lodging and reimbursement for panelists and other vendor expenses. At the meeting on Tuesday, Rep. Mark Bourne said that this will likely take several weeks to investigate. I reached out to members of the Joint Finance Committee, but I have not heard back.
All right, thank you, Janesha. In other news, officials in Middleton are looking to replace playgrounds and make accessibility improvements for those with disabilities. They say this is specifically for Hawk Ridge Park and Stonefield Park. You're invited to share your thoughts through an online survey at cityofmiddleton.us, and you have until February 11th.
Americans are paying more to power their homes, and it's because of rising energy costs.
Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn looks at the reason behind it and what you can do to cut costs.
Recent data shows Americans paid about 7% more for electricity this November than the year before. And the director of Public Citizens Energy Program says one reason is because of higher delivery costs. Now, delivery fees help cover the cost to build, maintain, and operate infrastructure. Across the county, artificial intelligence data centers are also fueling rising costs. Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says many AI data centers use natural gas generated electricity because it's cheap.
Problem is, all of the computers that run these chips and this AI are incredibly electricity hungry. And that is hitting all of us because of the huge demand now for natural gas.
He says lowering your thermostat by a few degrees can make a big difference on your bill. Public Citizens Energy suggests upgrading your windows and doors to keep cold air out. And if you're concerned about rising costs, the program suggests contacting your local leaders as distribution fees are approved by state regulators.
Thank you so much, Michelle Renee. And you can see more of her on Saturday and Sunday mornings, anchoring right here on Channel 3. Up next at 6, a local group that provides free support services for people with cancer is growing.
Hear from a survivor about why the expansion of Gilda's Club is important for people just like her.
You're watching News 3 now at 6. Moving forward.
A local organization offering free resources for people with cancer is expanding. Gilda's Club Madison is now Gilda's Club Wisconsin. The group says the name change reflects the growing number of people across the state who rely on its support services. While the clubhouse will remain in Middleton, Gilda's Club serves people throughout the state through in-person and virtual programs. One of the group's ambassadors, a cancer survivor herself, tells us how Gilda's support groups helped her and why she's happy to see it grow.
There's people that understand. That's something I longed for. I just needed to know someone, I wasn't crazy, someone got it.
Anyone looking to learn more about Gilda's Club Wisconsin and its free cancer support programs can go to gildasclubwi.org.
The first round of nominating for this year's Madison Magazine's Best of Madison is now underway. Through the entire month of February, you can nominate any person, place, or thing to do in a wide variety of categories. Now, this round is write-in only, and you can vote once a day in each category per valid email address. You can also buy tickets to the Best of Madison luncheon through our website, channel3000.com.
Still to come at 6, trying to make the Packers special teams special again.
Now we'll hear from our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde how the team hopes to fix a glaring issue from 2026.
Plus, a look ahead at the weekend's weather. Alex Harrington joins us with whether we should expect some more snow in the complete forecast.
We are keeping an eye on the morning commute.
That's right. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington is back with what he's expecting, Alex.
That's right. Let's take future tracks slowly as we go from the midnight hour. Some light snow eyeing up Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties, and then it will rapidly spread south and east for parts of southern Wisconsin. I want to emphasize not everyone's going to see the snow start to put it into motion here. As we get to 2 o'clock, it becomes more widespread, especially from Camp Douglas to the Dells to, let's say, the Barneville area, Madison, down towards Janesville. Then watch what happens as we move a little bit further into the morning hours as we head towards 3 o'clock, reaching the Madison area, Juneau, and Watertown, the back edge of that area of light snow down towards Janesville. Now, mixed in with this light snow could also be some light freezing drizzle, and right after the snow ends, that's typically when we see the better chance for freezing drizzle. So as we head towards 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, we lose the ice crystals, we lose the snowflakes, but that's the time where we could be seeing that replaced with freezing drizzle. So slick spots certainly are an expectation of the forecast here, not just for Madison and areas to the east where they have the better chance of seeing snow, but all of southern Wisconsin could see freezing drizzle overnight and some patchy dense fog as well. Notice as I continue to advance future track here, as we go through the daytime on Friday, we start to see those clouds break apart a little bit. But don't be deceived, even though we may get a little sunshine as we head a little bit later into Friday, colder air will eventually spill in to southern Wisconsin. Sharp cutoff in that snowfall right through, slicing Camp Douglas to the Dells, down to Madison, down to Janesville, areas to the south and towards the west, Lone Rock, Boscobel, Mineral Point, Platteville. Maybe you get nothing at all snow-wise, but you could get some of that freezing drizzle. Best chance for maybe a dusting to an inch of snow. Madison areas off towards the north and east, over towards Beaver Dam, Watertown, and Jefferson. Local visibilities could get down with some patchy dense fog possible, getting down maybe as close to zero, at least briefly at times during the Friday early morning hours. That in and of itself can cause some driving concerns as we head into the Friday morning commute. Temperatures tonight right around 30 in Madison, low to mid 30s in southwest Wisconsin. That's at warm air pulling into the Clipper-like weather system. As we go into Friday, high temperatures getting into the 30s briefly, then those strong north winds bring that temperature down throughout the daytime, and it'll be breezy throughout the afternoon on Friday. Going into Friday night with wind chills perhaps as cold as -5 to -10 in some cases to start off Saturday morning, but that warm up I promised you, it's coming. Saturday high temperature of 21, 31 then as we head into that all-important football day. Monday we'll start off the work week at 40. There's some indication Tuesday we have 43 right now, but if we can break into a little bit more sun, we could possibly be in the mid and upper 40s on Tuesday, then staying in the 30s Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Valentine's Day, if you want to start preparing for, oh, what's travel going to look like? What's the weather going to look like? We're going from mid to upper 30s at this point in time. Fast forward almost to the starting towards the latter part of February. A good part of the country is going to be enjoying warmer than normal temperatures, meaning warmer than average temperatures is a good chance. Madison south to the Gulf states. The cool spot will be in the American West and Southwest. We'll be enjoying the likelihood of those temperatures being above normal. I can't emphasize this enough. Be on guard. Even though next week's going to be really nice, when you got 40s by day, things melt, and then you get that water going out on the sidewalk, out on the streets. Nighttime we go below freezing. Guess what happens? It freezes, and then you go from snow, temperatures drop, melting, and then ice. 1, 2, 3. So any morning next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, there is the possibility that we could have some slick spots to deal with, and they're catchy because we call that black ice.
Exactly. Good to know. Thank you, Alex.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And you can track the forecast for yourself with our First Warn Weather app. You can download it for free in your phone's app store. Simply search WISC Weather.
Well, as the Packers look to improve in the year ahead, most fans will tell you special teams have been a trouble spot.
But just how bad were they? Our News 3 Now, Channel 3000 senior Packers writer Jason Wilde has more from Green Bay.
If there's one area more than any other that seems to frustrate Packers fans, it's special teams. And special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia certainly receives his fair share and maybe a little bit more of criticism from the fan base. But the truth of the matter is that special teams have been an issue for quite a while in Green Bay. It may be part of the way they build their roster with so many young players. But Ted Thompson, Brian Gutekunst's predecessor as general manager, faced the same types of criticisms. And when Brian Gutekunst spoke yesterday about where the Packers stand in his annual after-the-season press conference, he argued that the Packers are actually better on special teams under Bisaccia than they were under Thompson all those years.
You know, I really think over the last 4 or 5 years, we've probably put more emphasis on than we ever have. You know, I mean, certainly when I was working for Ted, which was always funny because Ted was a special teams guy, but we were never really going to have a player that was strictly a special teams guy. He had to play a position and have a major kind of role or a developmental role as a position player on offense or defense. I think when Rich got here, the way I think about him and the faith that I have in him, there was a lot of discussions, and we certainly have added a lot of those kind of guys that are just more special teams oriented players, and we improved. We've gotten a lot better. So, I have a lot of faith in Rich and what we're doing there.
Now, Gutekunst is right to a degree. The Packers' coverage units have improved. They have one of the best punters in the league in Daniel Whelan, and until that playoff game against the Bears, their kicker, Brandon McManus, had made 32 consecutive kicks. We've got more on the Packers' special team situation and everything else you need to know as we get ready for the offseason to get into full swing on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, don't forget to sign up for our Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. And Andrew's here with more sports.
Yeah, still to come in sports, a former Wisconsin men's basketball player and coach. His story of tragedy and triumph. Next on News 3 Now.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
1 week from tonight, A Road at Night, the movie behind the former Wisconsin men's basketball player and coach Howard Moore, hits the big screens. A movie that tells the story of tragedy and triumph. I spoke with Stan Van Gundy, Moore's coach at UW, about the person that we all want to be. For 30 years as a player and as a coach, Howard Moore was an eternal light for the Wisconsin men's basketball program.
Howard, I think is maybe the most positive and the most selfless person that I've ever been involved with.
Whether he was your coach or teammate, or even if you just crossed paths with him in town, he's the kind of guy that just made your life brighter.
There's not many people like that. Hopefully we've all met at least one or two, and anybody that's been around the Wisconsin program has met at least one in Howard.
But one day in 2019, everything changed. Premiering at Marcus Cinema next week, A Road at Night tells the devastating story of May 25th, 2019, when Moore was hit head-on by a drunk driver, killing his wife and daughter and changing his life forever.
The tragic accident, but it's an uplifting story. Of people coming together to support somebody they love. And Howard can't really communicate with us the way he could before. But if he could, I know when you walk into a room with Howard, he visibly gets excited.
From Bo Ryan to Frank Kaminsky, Greg Gard to Stan Van Gundy, more than 30 people were interviewed in this movie, painting the picture of Wisconsin's culture. With their support and his eternal optimism, nothing, Stan says, nothing can hold Howard down.
I mean, in the condition he's in still, this guy's spirit is indomitable. You cannot defeat Howard Moore. There's some people who cannot be defeated. Howard Moore is one of them, and I think that comes across in this movie.
Well, Howard's Badger teammate and friend, Rashard Griffith, who cares for Moore to this day, almost every day, is our guest on the Wisconsin Huddle this week, Friday night at 6:30 on News 3 Now. Another revolutionary Badger, Nigel Hayes, is headed back to Wisconsin. A key piece to Bucky's back-to-back Final Four runs was traded to the Milwaukee Bucks today. Hayes spent the past 7 seasons playing overseas before getting another chance in the NBA this year. And an active day for former Badgers, John Tonje. He was traded to the Boston Celtics. The rookie and the Wisconsin one-year wonder has averaged 18 points per game in the G League this season.
All right, Andrew, thank you. And coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10, this Black History Month, local leaders in Madison share their thoughts on how the city's perceived progressivism actually feels for members of the city's Black community. Again, that's tonight, News 3 Now at 10.
And a final check on our forecast.
Speaking of tonight at 10, we'll have a fresh update with Future Track showing the very latest on that snow potential for tomorrow morning. Eyeing up the Dells to Madison to Janesville. Some indications could be a little bit heavier, at least briefly, but it will be out of here as we get to the tail end of the commute, but not before bringing us slick road chances.
All right, thank you, Alex, and thanks for watching. Entertainment Tonight's up next.
You can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000+. Have a great evening.